gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke. Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke.
Hi guys, myself and Neil are here again with our track preview. We've just finished free practice at the Worlds and the pre-race, obviously.
I don't even know what we finished. I don't know what's happening yet. People are racing, people aren't racing. I'm not sure.
Well, it's not really a full world yet because not everyone's started.
No, that's what it feels like. It feels people are still missing, but next round, full complement of races. So I'm looking forward to it.
So we're going to do our track walk then, and I haven't raced since Friday, as most of you probably know. So the track's changed a little bit. It's got a bit bumpy, a bit dry, a lot drier than it was, and grooved up almost because it's not a dusty line. So I'm going to let Neil talk you through a few bits. Basically, this corner was smooth for me when I started, and it's getting a bit bumpy. So how's it handling?
All right, that music's a little loud. Yeah, like Lee said, under braking, you can see the bumps coming through. The guys are doing a good job watering. They're really fast, and they're doing it every run, but it is starting to get blown up. You can see a couple of little holes appearing. Bit of a beast coming out of it as well, bit of a shelf, which is only going to get worse, so that's we'll have to keep an eye on that, see how that pans out. Full wooded, little roller over here, nothing big, and then we're coming to probably the most blown out bit of the track, which again, when Lee was running, it was smooth like a virgin, but now, yeah, you can see it's getting pretty dug up. You've seen people are trying to get down the inside, but that's going to go soon. People that are going round it, that's going to blow out as well, so there's going to be a few crashes on this, let's be honest. And then I'm going to let Lee take over for the next section.
Yeah, so basically the surface from how it's changed when I ran on it, it's become pimpled almost. Like the whole surface is now, it looks more abrasive, and it's going to get a lot rougher, I think. This jump, when you look on a driver's stand, it actually kind of hooks left more than what you think, and it's a bit further than what you think too. You have to be pretty committed, full wood. It's not a hard jump as such, but because you kind of hit an angle, you have to kind of tweak the car back in the air. And you can see by how rough this mound is just here, how many people are under jumping it or getting it wrong, and the landing's getting pretty blown too. And you can't really see the landing when you're up there, so it's going to get tougher and tougher, I'm guessing. Where the track's kind of wet at the start of the runs, I guess it helps, or people hit it, crash into it, and it's going to make more holes because the surface is a little bit softer. So then we come around this corner again. You can't really see your entry too good. Your car comes kind of back into sight here when you really know if you're on or off your line. And there's a big hole appearing here on your acceleration point, so I'm going to guess that's going to get bigger too. So these are all parts of the track that we have to keep a look on, keep an eye on, and get your track walks done to make sure that you spot all these little holes before you go out on your track, considering it's going to be like 4 hours, 5 hours between runs. So you have to really work out how the track's evolving. So I'll let Neil run into this step up for you, and here we go.
Yeah, so yeah, like Lee said, the track's getting a little pimply, a little abrasive all the way around. Full wooded around this corner, a little bit of a canker and drift, got to look cool. And then you come just before the takeoff to this, you can see it's starting to rut up again right on the racing line. Again, that's only going to get worse, and that is going to be a nightmare because it's going to be difficult to see. You're going to have to be changing lines, and yeah, that's going to be pretty bad by the finals, I think. This is the only real big jump on the track except for the double, the nice little kicker. It's the American style part of the track, really. It's not a typical American track. It's a little different. I like it, but yeah, a little step up into the corner. A little tough to see this one from the driver's stand. If you're on the racing line and you're tight, your car kind of disappears. That's when you know you're on a good lap. But then you find it on the other side of the barrier and it's not a good lap. So yeah, nice and tight. No problem, little roller, and then you come to this little kicker that I'm gonna let Lee talk you through.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's amazing how kind of smooth it is on this bit. I don't know if they're doing something different back here, but it's a kind of different surface to what's over there. It's pretty smooth. So yeah, as Neil said, we come around here and we got our option line. On the inside is our kicker. On the outside, you can ride up into the berm. You can see after the kicker, it's pretty rough. I mean, there's people jumping, crashing, or if you go too wide and you kind of catch half of the kicker, then you're crashing into the berm, which is going to make that bumpy. We could see a change of line here. A lot of people, the major people and most of the guys racing, the fast guys especially, are using this kicker option line because it sets you up way better for the next corner and it's the shortest route around the track. You could see us switch into the berm line as we go through the event on how rough this landing gets, because if you're jumping into holes, it's not going to be very good. So keep an eye on that. As we come up, it's pretty smooth up here. Nothing to report. Moving on to our hairpin, and there's some holes appearing. You know, you're hard on the binders here and you're turning hard right.
I did notice there's no marshal on this corner.
And there's no marshal on this corner, Neil has just pointed out. There's a guy down there who's not going to be watching. If you crash here, I think there's a guy down the backside over here too, because I crashed here once in my practice. So yeah, I'll give it to Neil for the step down and round the next corner, because he was pretty good here.
Yeah, so you're full wooded out of the corner, just clear this step down, keep it pinned. You think? Oh yeah, you can actually. You can see it's getting a little choppy on the takeoff. It's not really a problem yet, but it could be. Yeah, so full wooded down here, sweeping nice and tight. Again, a little, it's getting a little abrasive, but you can't really feel anything yet. Like Lee said, the track is going to evolve. Every single race is going to be different, so you're just going to have to keep an eye on it. Little roll in mid-corner, not a big section. And then we come to the rhythm section, I suppose.
Which is way rougher than what it was for me.
Yeah, it was. It doesn't feel this bad on when you're driving. You can't really feel all the bumps yet, but looking at it, it looks pretty rough. So we got the classic roller into a nice easy double, no problem. But the takeoff is getting pretty blown, so you might see lines, changed up a little bit there. I've not seen anyone try the double or the triple yet. Yeah, I think Boosie might have tried it, but it looked pretty shit, to be honest. So yeah, I think single double and then into another double that is getting more and more difficult to clear with ease, because the downslope is just so. Well, people have been crashing all day on it, and they've just dug it out. So that might even, it gets that bad, it might even become a bit of a rolling single by the finals. I'm going to guess. I'll let Lee take you through the next step.
So yeah, after a little mound to land on there, it's getting pretty rough after.
I could feel that a lot more.
Well, Neil's saying he could feel this bump, like literally when you're driving around, it's starting to feel it. So, which means it's only going to get worse. I guess they're not going to repair the track, because I know they were looking for kind of an off-road track, which is cool. So, yeah, I'll take you through this cobble section. It's a pretty nice section. I thought it was going to get worse stepping on, because there's a little lip already to the cobbles. There's only one kind of small hole though, so it's not too bad. Where it is bad is coming off. Coming off now it was bad for the pre-race, and then they fixed it, I think, but now it's getting bad again. This is like a little wall here, which you do hit at some speed when you've squared up, because you want to get on the gas and get through this next corner. So that could be bad, and you could see people trying to go as tight as they can to avoid that. But there's not really much you can do. It's kind of pretty much across the whole line. And this is where you're going to make a lot of time too. Neil was really good here in one of his runs I watched, where you can come in, you can get on the cobbles and get off them as quick as you can, and carry on speed up through this kind of corner tabletop. This is where you're going to make a lot of time. A lot of the track at early doors, it was kind of easy for everyone to go a similar pace, but as it gets bumpy, you're going to see driver's skill and intuition come out, and then it's really going to separate the men from the boys, I think. This tabletop, pretty simple, I'd say. Unless it breaks up, you just jump in, get on the gas, flying across the line, and we finish our lap. The straight's nice and smooth, which is cool, because no one likes a bumpy straight, because they're a bit unpredictable, so that's held up really well. So I guess what we're going to cap it off with is predictions, and anything you think might happen.
Well, looking at practice, I'm quite surprised how Tessman's not absolutely dominating. I thought he was just going to turn up and just be like, I mean, it's still early doors, he might just turn it on, being the metronome that he is. But
That's a big word.
It was, right off the top of my head. Yeah, I really thought he was going to be absolutely outstanding from the word go. No, he's improved every run, which is exactly what you want at the Worlds. But Bootsy looked good right from the off. He looked fast all the way through. Ongaro pulled 3 of the fastest laps I've ever seen from nowhere to top practice. Didn't really back it up with anything else, so I'm not sure about that. Mayfield looks strong. He's been getting better. Lutz looks super fast. I don't know.
Loads of guys.
All the fast guys look fast for some reason.
Hey, I haven't even been out yet.
Well, you know.
You said fast guys.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, I haven't watched loads and loads of practice, but yeah, the fast guys look fast. You know, remember it's 10-minute run too, so we're going to have to look at consistency, especially as it's getting bumpy. It could even turn into kind of a track like Argentina really at the end.
It could get like real off-road. Another thing I did notice as well is the classic Drake manoeuvre of doing the 10-minute. He won't be pitting in the qualifying, and because the lap times are so close, that might be a genius move for him.
Was he not?
He did 10 all the way through. Someone told me. I'm sure he did 10, no pit stops. He had the fastest overall times because he wasn't pitting, and in qualifying on a tight track like this, it could be pretty crucial.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to say. I mean, it's a pretty fast pit lane, though, to be fair. You've got to come in a little bit slow. We should talk about the pit lane almost, because it is part of the track. Most 99% of drivers are going to have to pit during this 10-minute run, so we'll just look at it. It's actually quite tight on the way in. I've crashed more on the way in that pit lane than I haven't on track so far, because it's further out than the track is, so it's pretty narrow coming in. But it is straight up, apart from 2 little humps. Straight in, nice and wide, full balls on the way out, right?
Yeah, you just got to not hit the bumps too fast. You know, you always want to get in as fast as you can, but if you just give yourself, if you're losing half a second, it's not the end of the world as long as you're safe. That's all. I always try and go too fast in the pits and make a mess of it. So you always want a cool head in the pits.
Yeah. Well, I reckon 5 seconds lost in the pits.
I was thinking a little bit more, maybe like about 7 seconds. Yeah. Well, 5 for me, but maybe 6 or 7 for the rest of the guys.
Well, with the fuel bottles, no fuel gun.
Yeah, that's it.
All the bottle guys. So yeah, that's it. That's our capped round off. Phil is giving me his battery's going to die. So we'll see you in a few days, hopefully with some good results and hopefully with some good racing.
Peace out, guys.